long-running co-location and dark fibre cases. Despite the weaker annual performance, the March quarter did show improvements, with revenue and profit rising sequentially as trading activity picked up. The report card comes as the NSE prepares for a potentially massive IPO later this year, expected to be among India's biggest listings. And the Indian markets will be joining us in about 45 minutes' time. Let's give you a glimpse of Nifty futures and see what they are indicating. We're looking at 24,262 at the open. So confidence at the open for the Indian benchmark in line with what we are seeing unfolding with the regional peers. 24,032 is where we left off for the benchmark yesterday. Dollar-rupee exchange rate currently trading at 95.18. Let's bring in Seshadri Sen now, Head of Research and Strategist at Emkay Global. Seshadri, I wanted to bring in and talk about the state elections. Can you start by explaining how these results could usher in an era of what you call aggressive welfareism?
Good morning, and thanks for hosting me on the call. As far as the welfareism is concerned, it will be just merely noted in our report that ever since 2024, there has been a pivot to welfare spending, especially in terms of monthly payouts to women in the family across many states. It started in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh and has now spread to many states. In West Bengal's case, which was the key result of this election, there already was such a scheme in place, which was for a long time. It now appears from the poll promises of the winning parties that this number may go up. There is some strain on state finances, which could put further pressure, and these new measures could put further pressure on these welfare schemes, and that is natural in a country where there is still some level of support that is needed to the lower strata of population.
Help us understand, Seshadri, how this is, quite frankly, not going to be a sustainable situation for state finances, which are already in a deficit position, I understand.
As far as the state finances is concerned, yes, there is some amount of pressure. The RBI, the center and the RBI are trying to cap each state's deficit at about 3%, and these payouts do hamper their ability to meet that 3% deadline. Having said that, there are two mitigating factors over the longer term. One is growth, because these payouts tend to grow slower than the overall economy, and therefore over time it becomes a little more easy to absorb these payouts. And so that is broadly, and there may be some short-term pressure on other kinds of spending, especially on the infrastructure. The good news there is that the central government has kept its books very clean for the last 4 or 5 years. So they will have a little bit of leverage in terms of being able to fill that gap. And finally, if looking beyond the immediate Middle East conflict, if the economy does recover after the multiple stimuli that have been given through 2025, you will see some revenue buoyancy coming in probably towards the second half of this fiscal year.
But Seshadri, given the aggregate spending tied up in this welfareism and the spending required to maintain the fuel price caps and protect the consumer, relief for MSMEs, and Finance Minister Sitharaman has said the government is actively discussing crisis-era support measures similar to the pandemic. Is this a threat to sovereign finances at a central level?
Threat is a very strong word. For example, the SME support requires very little fiscal spending. So it is very cleverly crafted. It was a huge success during COVID. most of the funding will come from the banks. The actual spending by the MSMEs, by the banks, by the government will be fairly small. Yes, I do think that if the oil prices remain at say $100 to $110 per barrel, then that will put some pressure. But at the end of the day, I think we have come to a point that if there is no immediate visibility for oil prices to cool down and go back to say about $80, there has to be some pass through to the retail consumer as well. So we are at the worst point in terms of being able to analyze it. There are many factors. Analyze the Indian fiscal, both central and state. And by this time we get into the second half, some of these pressures we think would have alleviated. So threat is a very strong word. I would say that the fiscal at the moment is under a little bit of pressure. The center's finances are in better shape than the states. But as we get through into the year, I think a lot of this will start to improve.
I see. Seshadri, thank you very much indeed for that. We will return to you later on in the programme. Thank you. We are back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Inside India. India just wrapped up elections in 5 key states and union territories with some seismic political shifts. CNBC TV 18's Santhya Gora joins us now from Mumbai. Santhya, these were big wins and historic wins for the ruling BJP, especially in West Bengal. What does the mandate mean for Prime Minister Modi's ruling party?
So, Shri, BJP completely swept the state of West Bengal, and it was extremely important for BJP to win the state for many reasons, not limited to, including and not limited to politically disarming their one of the most fierce opponent, that's Mamata Banerjee of West Bengal. Let's talk about what worked for BJP. See, let's not forget that BJP has been trying to make inroads in that state for a very long time. In 2016 elections, BJP won 3 seats, but in 2021, BJP won 77 seats. So the rise was slow, but it was steady at the same time. So this is not a surprise, though the magnitude of the victory has definitely taken everybody by surprise, especially the TMC. Now, one thing which definitely worked in BJP's favor was the anti-incumbency factor here. Mamata Banerjee has been ruling the state for the last 3 terms, as in last 15 years. So there was a lot of anti-incumbency. There was a lot of anger towards Mamata Banerjee, despite her popularity at a national scale when it comes to a fierce opposition leader. But her policies at the state level, especially the corruption allegations and the law and order situation, women's safety allegations, all of these did not help her cause at all. Another aspect was the welfare scheme part. See, Mamata Banerjee was one of those initial chief ministers to announce a scheme where women of the state were given a monthly cash handout, and this election she promised to increase that amount, but BJP matched the game and BJP doubled that amount, not only for women but for the youth as well. That was West Bengal. Tamil Nadu is where the real surprise came from. A newly formed party is now going to govern the state. Kerala returned back to its policy of giving a chance to every party, every alternate election, and Assam and Puducherry chose the saffron way once again. Shri.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because if you look back to 2024 and the general election, the ruling BJP spent a lot of time, resources and energy trying to break that opposition bastion in the southern states. I'm just curious, what was it that unseated the incumbents in these state elections? What resonated among voters, and how could these results impact the next multi-state elections and the next general elections in India?
Absolutely, Shri. So we spoke about West Bengal. Tamil Nadu is the place where everybody is going to now conduct multiple research and studies and surveys, because remember, Emkay Stalin was one of the most popular chief ministers. His social welfare program, his social security pensions, and Tamil Nadu's politics and the state is rooted in social justice. And he delivered on that front, his infrastructure development and the way he was, fighting against the narrative of Hindi imposition on the state. All of that it looked like it's going to work in his favor, but it did not. And a new party and a leader, an actor turned politician without any political history, political background, political experience. He is going to be the next chief minister in all likelihood with the support of Congress. So that's where everybody has to, people are going to conduct research to see what exactly resonated with people, because social justice program was in place. Promises were made by DMK and the AIA DMK faction as well. But Vijay here, founder of TVK, he actually doubled down on those promises. So maybe that resonated. And Tamil Nadu is also a state where star power is something which is of significance. So maybe that worked, and it is going to be extremely important in the next the most high-stake state elections. That's going to be Uttar Pradesh election. Spillover effect of BJP's performance in West Bengal is definitely going to help BJP, and definitely the way Mamata has been at present, looking at a political crisis, survival crisis, that also is going to help BJP's cause. So all of this is going to reflect in the upcoming state elections and will also have some sort of effect in the next 2029 general elections as well. Shri.
Santhia, thank you very much indeed for that. And let's return to Seshadri Sen, Head of Research and Strategist at Emkay Global. Seshadri, I'm sure you heard that conversation with Santhia. Beyond all the welfareism that we can expect, do we have any notion of the contours of the newly elected leadership's longer-term economic development plans and targets for West Bengal, for Assam, Tamil Nadu or Kerala?
Tamil Nadu, because these are new leaders there, and we don't even know who the chief minister will be. West Bengal is a little easier because the BJP rules many states and they'll follow the same template. I think with West Bengal, there will be 2 or 3 issues that will happen. First is that investment in infrastructure will ramp up very aggressively. That is a very strong line that the BJP follows in most of the states that it occupies. And one should see a fairly aggressive government expenditure on infrastructure coming through in the state. Secondly, you will see an effort to bring back industry into the state. That will be a longer-term objective. Things like that don't turn around immediately. But we expect that will be the second outcome of these elections. Not to mention that a little bit of improvement in law and order will bring some sort of peace dividend in local spending and local consumption, which we partly saw in states like Uttar Pradesh after the BJP took over about 12 years ago. So that's the contours of West Bengal. As I said, Tamil Nadu is a little bit of a black box at the moment, but I would like to just point out that Tamil Nadu has seen governments change almost every 5 years. I can't remember when the last time a chief minister was re-elected or a party was re-elected in a Tamil Nadu assembly elections. And across both sides of the aisle, with Tamil Nadu, third part.
With Tamil Nadu, the economic model and the plan has been quite effective, hasn't it? It's been one of the top recipients
Absolutely.
of
That's
FDR
exactly what I was about
India,
to say, that Tamil Nadu has not
a major
seen
hub
any
for
changes.
manufacturing.
Absolutely. Tamil Nadu, despite changes in government, the economic model remains the same. While there is aggressive welfare spending, and this is across all the parties, there is also very aggressive industrialization. It is probably one of India's most developed states as far as industrialization is concerned. So I don't think there will be any material change in Tamil Nadu as far as economic policy is concerned, broad direction-wise. Assam has been, this party was re-elected, it will go in the same direction. And there as well, there are efforts to improve industrialization in the state.
Yes.
And maybe the Assam playbook is what West Bengal will try to follow. That would be a good indicator, because Assam saw BJP government come, I think, about 10 years ago, if I'm right.
Yes. Seshadri, the BJP win in West Bengal cannot be underestimated, can it? But does this necessarily mean that the doors are now open to foreign investment? Of course, time will tell. And does it, in your opinion, perhaps create a more business-friendly environment in a state that was perceived, perhaps, by foreign investors as being closed to business, given its communist leanings?
At the margin, yes. The official left front has not been in power in West Bengal since 2011. So the last 15 years, Mamata Banerjee is not technically a left front government. She has her own ideology. There have been some foreign investments, lots of plans, but very little has fructified. And that is where the expectation is that with the BJP government, there will be some acceleration in that. So yes, though to be fair, there has been some IT companies which have come in and set up centers in West Bengal, but the process is expected to accelerate significantly with the new BJP government, and I think with the new government that will be a priority on their agenda.
Back to the south, do you foresee Kerala or Tamil Nadu diaspora returning from the Gulf, given the uncertainty in that region? And could the prospects for them now be more favourable back home under new leadership? Or is it still early days here, Seshadri? Could we see a reverse brain drain? And what would be the implications then from a remittances point of view?
Too early to tell. I think, I don't think the workers in the Gulf will panic and come back home at this point in time. If it goes on for a really long time, then that may be a factor. Having said that, I don't think that, at the moment, I don't think that there is any reverse brain drain about to happen. The outcome of a reverse brain drain for India as a whole is quite significantly negative because these areas account for a large part of India's remittances. And in these days of a slightly vulnerable the current account deficit, this will not be a good outcome. But I think that's a really alarmist view. I doubt whether that will happen. For that, the tension in the Middle East will have to continue for a long time. I argue that once actually this conflict subsides, and it will at some stage, there will be some rebuilding which will happen in the Middle East, which could actually attract more Indian workers rather than fewer. Right. So theoretically, you're right. If there is a brain drain, there is a problem for India. Reverse brain drain, there is a problem for India. the possibility or the probability of that is very low, if you ask me.
Seshadri, how long could it be before other states start demanding payouts? And when does this potentially snowball into a fiscal problem at a sovereign level? And I know that you said that the finances at a sovereign level are comfortable, but I just wanted to explore this idea of the pan-Indian footprint. Could other states start saying, look, we want payouts too?
To start, the payouts are happening pretty much in many states already. Let's start with that. You've had Bengal, Tamil Nadu. I think Assam has something, if I remember correctly. Maharashtra, which had an election soon after the national elections in 24, has a process in place. Madhya Pradesh, as I said, was one of the first to start it even before the 23 elections. So many states already have that. Incrementally, yes, you could see the big one, as your reporter pointed out, would be UP, if UP starts something like that. But you have to understand that these are all happening at the state level. And the central government has made it very clear that if states do this, they're doing it out of their own pocket. So what could happen is that states may have to prioritize expenditure. And as I said, with 3 or 4 years of growth, the impact of this spending starts to come down. So yes, at this point in time, it does strain state finances in the short term. But if you take a 3 to 4 year view, I think this will the situation will only get better. So I'm not unduly alarmed by this. Yes. And in terms of this spreading to other states, probably Uttar Pradesh is the state to watch out for, which, as your reporter pointed out, goes to elections fairly soon.
Absolutely. Seshadri, fascinating conversation. Thank you very much indeed for your insights and analysis. Seshadri Sen there from Emkay Global. Coming up on the programme, India's growth outlook is getting hit by the ripple effects of the Iran war, with inflation risks mounting. We will speak to UBS, the latest investment bank, to slash its growth forecast for the country after this short break. Do stay with us.